What is up guys, it's your boy Solheim here, back with another classic WoW video for Season of Discovery. Now, I've made a decision, and today's video I'll be talking about what decision I've made and why, and basically I'm quitting Season of Discovery. No, I'm not, but I will be playing Phase 4 way differently than I have played in the past, and even though I'm not quitting, I'm doing what I want to call soft quitting, and it's basically where instead of playing this game as my main game, it will be one of my side games that I'm playing just whenever I can, and playing it super casually. So instead of rushing to level 60 when the next phase comes out, I'll be taking my time, leveling up a little bit more casually, and instead of doing a lot of pre-questing, I'm not going to be doing that either. I'm just going to take my time, get to level 60 whenever I can, and I'm not even going to raid every single week. I would like to do a Molten Core raid just to see what they've done, but for the most part, what they are doing with Season of Discovery, it is not what I personally was looking for, and I'm going to make another video talking about what's next, what I'm doing after this, but the TLDR is I'm going to be focusing on the War Within. Once again, I have a full video talking in length about that, coming out probably tomorrow, but for this one I want to talk more about Season of Discovery, because I've been focusing so much on this game mode for the last half a year that I feel like me talking about this warrants its own video about why I'm making the decision that I'm making. And it might not seem like a big decision to some of you, like playing the game casually, like getting to level 60, I'm still playing Phase 4, it's just instead of playing Phase 4 for 10 hours per day, I'm probably going to play 10 hours per month, or something like that, right, in Phase 4. So to me that's a big deal. I'm playing the game way less, and I'm not going to be, it's not going to be my main game at all, and I'm going to be playing the game way less, and in a way different way than either before as well. I'm not going to be part of an active raid team, not going to push myself to max level, not going to farm endgame bis and stuff like that. I'm just going to try to have fun. Okay, so let's talk about why. Now, reason number one, and a very obvious reason here, is that I personally like playing retail, and the War Within expansion is coming out in 1.5 months, so I feel like these two expansions, or these two, Season of Discovery Phase 4 isn't an expansion, but it's endgame content. It's finally being level 60, and 1.5 months kind of crashes for me, based on the prep that I'm trying to do personally in the War Within, leveling brand new characters, skilling up professions, but also making content. I want to make guides for the new expansion before it comes out, which does take time and a lot of testing on the beta. So for me it's just a matter of time, not having enough time, or how I choose and prioritize spending my time that I have for the next 1.5 months. Now, reason number two is that even if the War Within wasn't coming out, I'm not that hyped for Phase 4 due to a lot of the changes Blizzard have made and the whole mentality that they have. A couple of things here. Number one, the lack of new content. I have talked about this a lot in the past. The lack of new content is a big thing to me, and sure, we're getting a brand new version of Molten Core, but it's still Molten Core, so to me it's not a new content, it's old content that is reworked and reshaped. I was hoping for new content, a new dungeon, or several new dungeons in the endgame to spice up how you farm your pre-bis, instead of doing the same dungeons we did in the past to then do the same raid we did in the past. I want to see brand new dungeons, I want to see brand new battlegrounds, arenas in the game, and brand new raids. Granted, they are adding one raid boss to Molten Core, but same thing again, it's still Molten Core. Where's my Karazhan Crypt? Where's my Scarlet Halls raid? Portents of Uldum? What about the Mount Hyjal Zone? What about Grimbat Hall raid or dungeon or something like that? All of those things, where are those? What about the brand new quests? If you played Turtle WoW, why haven't they done something like that? Put in brand new quests in Westfall, in Elwyn Forest, a new quest hub where there's lacking quest hubs, like Dustwallow Marsh quest hub, Alliance quest hub in the Barrens. I don't know, just something more, adding brand new content and tailoring that into the old content, expanding on the lore they already have. Those are the things I was looking for, new things. not just rediscovering the old things. And speaking of rediscovering old things, the class meta and the whole way that the Classic WoW developer team are approaching class meta as well. They are once again approaching it the exact same way Classic WoW was approached, where if your class provides utility, you should do less DPS. And to me, that is such a dumb way to look at things, and especially when it's such a imbalance. Let's say a warrior does 4,000 damage or DPS, a boomkin is doing 2k, half the DPS, and that's okay apparently, because boomkins bring utility, but in reality, the utility they bring, a warrior now also brings. Warriors can intervene, they can swap to sword and board and be a tank whenever needed when you need a tank swap. A warrior can sacrifice some DPS to be a tank in that specific scenario, even though he doesn't have tank gear. And now in Seasonal Discovery, they also bring Dragon Slayer Light buff, a light world buff. So even if your group dies, you still have a world buff light provided by warriors, and even then they're still going to be top DPS in phase 4 as well, mark my words. Give it a couple of weeks, it's the same thing we see every single phase. Warriors start out being somewhat weak, but they scale really well with gear, so they will end up on top once again. And melee DPS, or physical DPS I should say, are always going to be on top, with mages sometimes crawling in there. But Shadow Priest, you will never be top. Boomkins, you will never be top. Arcade mages, you will never be top. Frost mages, probably never be top. Warlocks, never be top, especially Affliction Warlock. The only Warlock that will ever do good might be Destruction, because they're simulating a Fire Mage, but damage over times? No, 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 no. Now, I also just don't like all the changes they've made to classes, because when it comes to Season of Discovery and a potential Classic Plus, I was never looking for Blizzard to just take spells, abilities and talent points from TBC, Wrath and Cataclysm and port them over to Classic. I was looking for maybe a couple of adjustments here and there, but at this point, every class has been buffed to like huge degrees. Rogues, mages, hunters, we have 10,000 new spells. Mages getting Living Bomb at like level 5, and Hot Streak and everything else that we have. We just have way too many runes, way too many abilities, and we're basically playing Cataclysm but in a Classic WoW environment, but with retail-like playstyles. So we're playing a weird mix of pretty much every single game out there. It's Cataclysm Classic Retail Light. That is what this is Cataclysm put in Classic WoW with some retail elements on top. It's just Cataclysm Classic Retail Light, which is not what I was looking for. I was looking for Classic WoW, which to me this no longer resembles. We're playing in the Classic WoW world, sure, but I just don't feel like it's Classic WoW anymore. Maybe I'm alone on that, but that's how I feel, and that's the reason why I'm not excited for Phase 4, and it's my reasoning, like, this is how I feel. And you feeling different, it's okay. And I would love to hear how you feel in the comments down below. But expanding on that, expanding on a couple of things that I personally don't like, let's talk about catch-up mechanics, and another element of why Seasonal Discovery reminds me of Retail Light. So, rune acquisition. Rune acquisition is absolutely horrible. If you make a brand new character right now, or your first time playing Season of Discovery is Phase 4, the amount of hurdles you have to jump through to get your runes is insane. And Blizzard have put in a catch-up for leveling to make you level faster. So here's what they do. They push you to the end game faster, and once you're at the end game, then you start jumping through hurdles, like rune acquisition, reputation farming, stuff like that. So they invalidate the old world, which is a reason why a lot of people like Classic WoW. Blizzard takes that away. They invalidate the old world by speeding up leveling, but then they do nothing to help you when you're at the end game. So when you're at the end game, that's when you can start playing the game. But before you start really playing the game, you have to jump through hurdles, get your runes, reputation farming, profession farming, all of that stuff. There's no catch-ups at the end game. What I would like to see is that they would help you get your runes faster, but you would spend more time leveling. Leveling up your character allows you to, first of all, learn how to play your class, and also develop a connection to your character. You feel more connected to the character you're playing, which also makes you indirectly play the game more, because now you have a connection to both your character and the game by putting in those hours. So when it comes to catch-up mechanics, what Seasonal Discovery is doing is they are pushing you to end the game as fast as humanly possible by, first of all, giving you a massive increased experience bonus here, 150% increased experience gains, but also in Phase 3 we had incursions, where you can spam quests in one place to level up super fast, like 10 minutes per level, 15 minutes per level, and half an hour per level. And you can do this from level 25 all the way to level 50, just spam around of incursions 24/7. Do you know another version of WoW that pushes you to end the game as fast as humanly possible, and then when you're at the end game, that's when the game starts? Exactly, that's retail. Another reason why it's turning into retail for me is just invalidating everything except the end game. And another season that did the same was Season of Mastery, which had a lot less changes than what Seasonal Discovery has, but it was also purely focused on the end game. Like, it's not fair to compare these two seasons, but I just feel like once again they're focusing way too much on only the end game, and they're not focusing enough on everything else. And yeah, for me it's just not what I was looking for. If you compare this to two private WoW servers, we had Ascension WoW and Turtle WoW. I wanted something that looked more like Turtle WoW. They went for Ascension WoW. So, I mean, at the top of my head, to end this video off, let's talk about a couple of things. Let's do a quick summary of the things in Seasonal Discovery that I personally don't like. Number 1, I don't like incursions. Number 2, I don't like the rune acquisition system. So it just takes too much time, especially on alts. Number 3, I don't like how alt unfriendly it is. Once again, rune acquisition, but also profession legendaries, or profession epics, I mean. Like, those are super bad on alts as well. Leveling up though, that's a good bonus, but still, like, the catch-up system, super bad. And number 4, the class balancing. Some people might love the fact that warriors are still top DPS, and for class balancing, some people love the way they're doing it, because this is classic WoW-like, and some people don't. I'm on the side where I don't. I don't like what they're doing here. So class balancing, another thing I don't like. Number 5, they have now used Stranglethorn Vale PvP event 3 phases in a row. It was new in Phase 2, it sucked ass in Phase 3, it is completely terrible shit that is doing it again in Phase 4, and sure, we have the Blackrock Corruption event, which is both a daily quest hub and a PvP zone at the same time, where you get more honor points inside the mountain, but it's only a way to get honor points. So if you get more honor points from doing, for example, Alterac Valley, people will do that instead. There's no other incentive, to my knowledge, to this brand new event when it comes to PvP, other than doing honor farming. It's an alternative way to farm honor points, but if you can already do Alterac Valley and that's better for you, most people will do that instead. They will choose whatever method gives them the most honor points. And thing number 6 that I don't like, all of the brand new runes, taking all the classes, turning them into a TBC, Wrath or Cataclysm version of themselves, and making it look way too much like retail. And number 7 of things that I don't like is going to be the lack of new content. No new dungeons. I mean, technically we get one more in Phase 4 with the thing in Fellowwood, but so far, apart from that, we haven't had any new content, like new dungeons, new raids, new quests, new quest hubs, just putting in those new pieces of content, things we haven't seen. The only new content we have seen so far, really, are the quest lines attached to the crafted epics for every single phase. We had those, I don't know if we had them in Phase 1, I think we might have, but at least in Phase 2 and Phase 3, we had crafted epics, and they usually had a pretty hefty quest chain attached to them, and that was new, and that was fun. So more quest chains like that, but not just revolving epics. You could make quest chains like that, leading into Westfall, giving us 2 more quests in Dead Mines, for example, or add quest hubs where we're lacking quest hubs. Give us another quest hub in Wetlands, because in Wetlands we have to travel so far in between every single quest. Give us another quest hub in Wetlands. Give Horde a quest hub in Wetlands. It would make sense because they already have so many orcs here, and do something with the zones that you haven't done something with. Look at this look at this long shoreline of a zone right here to the east of Wetlands and to the east of Loch Modan. This could easily be turned into a zone, and in Arathi Highlands as well, we could make a zone, a troll village over here, like towards the water. There's a lot of unused space that is taken up by mountains, where they could put in a brand new zone, and the same thing all the way up here as well, north of Eastern Plaguelands. First of all, we have the whole Blood Elf zone that they could use right now in Classic WoW, and we have the one all the way here, like northwest of Eastern Plaguelands. We have another zone you could use as well. So here we have 3 unused zones, back to back to back, where they could put in brand new content. It's just so many opportunities that just have been lost, and I don't know why. And then we have Mount Hyjal, they could have made that as well. And we have the Potence of Uldum. We already have Uldum on the map, this right here. This could have been a raid, could even have been a world event. Imagine once per day, or once per week, a bunch of elites spawn out of a portal here, and you have to kill those elites. Or something like that. There's so many things they could do in this place of the map as well. A bunch of new content just waiting to be done. Either way, that's been a long video of me talking about why I'm not that excited for Phase 4, and why I'm personally soft quitting, as I want to say. But the reason why I'm soft quitting, and I just want to touch on that as well, is that I am way too invested in the season to actually quit, and I don't want to quit. And I still want to talk about why I'm not playing that actively. I'm not going to quit, I'm not going to be playing actively, I'm just going to see where it goes and play it way more casually. But I'm too invested to quit. And I do want to have faith for future phases. It's only Phase 4, and I say that kinda sarcastically, because we are also in Phase 4. We are at this point 8 months in now? We're 7 or 8 months in to the Season of Discovery, and we're in Phase 4. We have a lot more raids and phases to go through, but at the same time, if they have planned to give us new stuff and reuse zones and make new stuff, they should have given us a taste. They should have given us 1 new zone by now, and a couple of brand new dungeons to do while leveling as well. If they are planning to make new content, some of that new content should have been here by now, but I do want to have faith that it could be here in Phase 5, maybe even Phase 6, so for me I'm just going to approach Phase 4 differently and see what happens in future phases. So let me know in the comments down below. Are you playing Phase 4? If yes, let me know some of the things you're excited for, and if no, let me know why you quit. I would love to hear those comments. I would love to see those comments in the comment down below. Now, when it comes to content for Season of Discovery, I'm going to talk more about that in tomorrow's video, where I talk about what's next, but I do want to say that I'll still be making some content for SOD, specifically gold making content, gold farming content, but a lot of that will be through my gold making guide or my Patreon. So if you want to have access to all of my stuff when it comes to gold making, please consider supporting me by being an active Patreon member or getting my gold making guide. That way you will get access to my videos before they go public, and some videos will probably be exclusive as well. We already have a couple of exclusive videos, and we might have even more as I'm making more The War Within content. If I find something, or if I have something in mind for Season of Discovery, I might just make that an exclusive video for people that have my gold making guide or are Patreons, instead of uploading it to YouTube, just to help you out more, secure more profit for you guys as well, and that way you get more back for directly supporting me. Either way, thank you for watching the video, I really do appreciate it, and I'll see you again in the next video very soon.